Hello. All right. Welcome back. It is sunny and warm, at least where I am, sunny and warm. July afternoon this Sunday. Not for much longer though. Only a few more days left in July. I can't believe we're almost about to hit August. Crazy. All right. Let's see. Well, where do we find ourselves today? We are playing a very interesting adaptation. It's not really an adaptation. It's just a different version of Caverna. Caverna Cave versus Cave. This game's been out a while. At least the base game has been out a while. The expansion, which added a second half to the game, has only been out, probably been out, I don't know, 5 years. And then they released the big box, which merged them together only like 3 or 4 years ago. And the big box is the version you see before you. It is very little difference. There's some nuance to it. What you see here on this side of the board is the the second half. So for the simplicity's sake, I will just go ahead and remove that. And you can see how the board breaks apart a little bit there thematically, which is kind of cool. But that piece will come back. I had it included for primarily for space, just to confirm that that it was all going to fit on the screen, right? But it'll come back. So Cave versus Cave is interesting because in Caverna, the core game, as you may know, you're doing kind of two basic things. You're building out your farming and your ranching on one half of your player boards, and then the other half, you're kind of excavating your cave living area. So you're cavemen and you're living in caves, and you're kind of chipping away and making your living space bigger. And at the same time, you're trying to eke out an existence in your farming, your rudimentary farming and ranching practices. So that was the practice of Caverna. The thing, though, in Caverna Cave versus Cave is it's meant to be a condensation of the core game, and it really just focuses on that cave expansion portion of the main game. It's also a much faster game as a result. It's smaller, it's faster. It's meant to be a 1 to 2 player game. I'm playing it as a 1 player game. The 2 player game, the instinct that I'm getting from watching other people play this game is that it can be really hate drafty, because the tiles are always the same. They just come out in different order. So it's a puzzle, and the better you are at knowing what those pieces are, or what the actions are that come out, and knowing what buildings you can build, or rooms rather, in your cave system that you can build are, and when those come out, the better at the game you'll be. And so you can sometimes know with some certainty that certain actions are going to be key for your opponent to take, and if you can keep them away from your opponent, then you'll do better in your game. And so that game can be a little nasty depending on how you like to play board games. But as a solo game, no one's being nasty to you. There's no bot that's going to be taking anything away from you. It's a beat your own score game, which normally I'm kind of meh about. But when it's something small and quick and meant to be just something to just sit down and enjoy, I don't mind to beat your own score. I think that's sometimes a pretty casual way to play a game. So I don't get too bent around the axle with solos that have beat your own score, as long as the game and the puzzle itself is compelling. And by all reports, Cave versus Cave is actually very compelling as a solo game. So, but it's not meant to be a big, gnarly, whole table hog thing about like Caverna, the core game, for example. I actually owned Caverna, the core game, a while back, many years ago. When it first came out, I bought it because I was really excited about its theme. I thought it was going to be perfect for me and mine. And it was, thematically. We really, really resonated with the theme. We really enjoyed what the game gave us from a puzzle, but it never made it to the table. And the reason why it never made it to the table is because it took 45 minutes to set up Caverna on average. because all it was to set up really was just these kind of market boards. I'll call them market boards. They're just the boards of the game. And all it was a giant grid of tiles. And not just any tiles. These were different tiles that all needed to go in very prescriptive places on the board. So it wasn't just like get them out there, match the numbers or whatever. It was get them out and figure out, is this tile? Does it live there? Is this tile? Oh, that lives over. No, that lives over there. And you're doing that to ensure that you don't screw up the setup of the game. And you're doing that for like unpacking this stack of tile by stack of tile by stack of tile. And I'm sure that if you played it long enough, it would be a game that you'd be able to set up quicker. But when you're just learning the game for the first time and then it's taking a half an hour to 45 minutes to set up, just to set the thing up because you're just sorting stacks of tiles, I have better things to do with my life. I just didn't spend the time to play Caverna. So Caverna Cave versus Cave, I hope, will give me the flavor of Caverna that I really enjoyed without that gnarly setup time. And that's not even so bad for some super heavy games, but I'm not a super heavy gamer. So for me, it was a deal breaker. This one, set up in minutes, was great. I didn't even have to really understand the game to play it, just to set it up. So that was nice. There are some deviations in the rules between solo and 2-player, and they don't go into too much detail. They just say, do this. So if you don't know what you're doing yet, that can be like, well, what are you talking about? But you figure it out. And this one actually wasn't so bad to figure out. Okay, so what do we have in Caverna Cave versus Cave? Well, like I talked about, it is a cave. They're focusing on the cave activities of the base game, not the farming stuff. So this is my player board right here. And it has a bunch of face down excavation tiles. These are all, on the other side of these tiles, are all rooms in the cave that we can build. And so the order that these get shuffled in and placed out, and the order in which you excavate them will, hey, thank you for the biddies. They will influence kind of which buildings you think about building at any given time, because that'll be what's available to you. So every game you play, even in the 2-player game, the buildings, the different kind of room buildings will come out in different order. There's 2 different kinds of tiles in the game. There are kind of orange tiles, and that's like orange banner tiles. And those are those are rooms that you can build that can be activated when you take certain actions. And then there are blue tiles with a blue banner on the top, and those are kind of they're always on. They're available to you now for the rest of the game. They're kind of things. They're special rules that you get to have because you built that room, and they only apply in certain circumstances, but they do always apply when you can do them. So it'll make sense. But like, think of it as like a perpetual capability that you gain versus a room that you activate. You can just go to that room and do something. It is the game, and you'll hear this in a lot of the other reviewers talk about this too. The game is billed as a worker placement game with no workers. All that really means is it's kind of an action selection game, right? Oh no, all good, man. I know. I took a gander at it before I hit start today. They were just getting going. What was I saying? Right. So these are blue versus orange buildings. Will be action selections. That's right. It's more of an action selection game. You get a certain number of actions you can select, depending on which round you're in. And I believe the solo game goes for 7 rounds, and the regular 2-player game goes for 8 rounds. I'm not exactly sure why that is. I think the 8th round is something that you kind of double check. You evaluate. You see who's done better or worse, and then that one player gets to take an action. So because there's no second player, I think it's just irrelevant. So I think they just skip that round. But here's the thing. That's just the base game. The expansion that they added, I want to say, 5, 6, 7 years ago on this game, adds the second era. The second era is essentially the second part of the game. But here's the cool part. You play the first part of the game first, and then you set up and play the second half based on the work that you did in the first half. So what you see in front of you is the era 1 setup, and then we will get some special stuff happening that I'll go quickly set up after the first game is over, and then we'll, without changing the board state, my player board or my resources, will continue playing for one more era. So essentially, investments and strategies that you put into place in era 1, you can then exploit to maximum benefit in era 2. Okay, so with that in mind, what are we doing? Well, we have the caves, we have the stone that we're going to be excavating from our caves to try to build rooms out in our cave. We are cave people. And we have certain kind of prehistoric, I guess, resources available to us. We have wood and stone. We have grain and flax. Grain being yellow and flax being green. And then we have food and gold. So gold is our currency in the game. Certain actions that we will take will require us to spend food, and certain actions that we take will cost more and more food the later in the game we get. So at the beginning, in the first round, it's only going to cost us 1 food to do something, and when we get to the end of the game, it'll be 3 or 4 food to do the same action. But by then, hopefully, you've built a bit of an engine that helps you resolve some of that. There are actions that you take, and then there are buildings that you activate. Those are kind of the 2 things to think about. Actions that you take, buildings that you activate. The actions that we take are up here along this side. Now, I don't have enough room on the screen to show this entire board. I didn't want to slide it back and forth like I've done before, and that one was a necessary evil because of how I wanted. It was more important that you could see the player board than it was for me to slide things back and forth. In this case, it's really just 2 slots you can't see, so I moved them down here. So think of these, think of this top line as a single line with these 2 tiles here at the end. So I won't flip these over until the end of the game. But that's really after I flip this one over, the next round, and then I'll flip that one over, and then this one. And that's kind of my solve for that. Up here is a quick reminder that there is an anytime action. You can always do a goods conversion. You can always convert grain, flax, gold, or donkeys, which we'll get into in the second round. Donkeys is the second era, into food. So it's 1-to-1. Okay, so I think that's really all there is to talk about. At the beginning of the game, we're going to have 4 actions to pick from. 5 actions, really, because when the game starts, we flip over that one. We'll have 5 actions to choose from. And then the next round, we'll flip over another one. So we're going to gain different types of actions. These are also semi-random. I mean, there's only 3 2s and 3 3s and 1 4. So so we're always going to be, you're going to kind of know what actions these are, but what order they come out in, that'll be somewhat different. So I think that's the only other thing to talk about, especially for Era 1. We'll get into a small secondary teach for Era 2 when we get there, if there's even something to worry about teaching. We'll see. So at the beginning of the game, we have our cave entrance, which is right here. And then we have 1 space that is already excavated. Some of these buildings that we can build will require walls to exist in certain configurations. So we can also build walls to satisfy room requirements. The thing to realize is that once you've built a room that has a wall requirement, if later you need to build a wall that would violate that room's wall requirements, it doesn't matter. That room is already built. You can ignore that wall requirement. It's a requirement to get it built. You can modify your space for future building actions as you see fit. So let's take a closer look at the anatomy of a tile. To do that, I will quickly black out the screen and then turn on my player board so I don't make it too busy. So what we have here are the 3 building tiles or room tiles. I'll call them buildings and rooms, but they're interchangeable. These are 3 rooms that we can build. An example for their cost is this one costs 1 stone, this one costs 1 wood. Both of those cost 1 wood. But these on the upper kind of, not quite upper, but in the upper right corner here are the room wall requirements. If you see a black wall, that is a required wall. That wall must exist for you to build it. If you see a white wall, it is optional. A wall can be there, but it's not necessary. It's not required. And then if you don't see a wall cannot exist there. And for the purposes of evaluating whether you can build something, you can always rotate the tile as you see fit to confirm that you are in fact allowed to build there. But when you build it, you can just put it down straight so you can read it. But these symbols are meant to be rotatable. Now, victory points at the end of the game are in the upper right corner of the tile. So this one's worth 4 victory points, 3 and 3. And then finally, at the bottom of the tile is what you get to do with the tile when you activate it. If you see a slash, and usually when you see a slash, it is one side is a slightly different tint than the other, the background. That's to denote an either or decision. On the other hand, if you see this tile where everything is one shade and you just see a very slight line in the middle there, that's just to let you know you can do 2 things when you activate this tile. Both of these you get to do. And then of course there's tiles like this too, which just gives you 1 action. So that's really it. It's the anatomy of a tile. It's not meant to be a super complicated game. So with that in mind, we can build, let's see, the only thing we can't immediately build is this tunnel because we don't have a wall configuration that allows for that. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to build a wall first before we can build tunnel. But these won't be the only tiles that we can see that we're gonna be able to build for the rest of the game. The tiles that get added to this will be the tiles that I excavate from my cave. So with that in mind, we'll go ahead and come back to here. So we start the game with 1 of everything. 1 wood, 1 stone, 1 grain, 1 flax, 1 food, 1 food and 1 gold. And if we activate the cave entrance, then we get one resource of any kind. But it's an either or decision. You get 1 of the 4. Now let's talk about immediate actions that we can take. If I come over here, let me come on, you can do it. Let me just quickly pop into here. We'll take a close look at these. In fact, I'll even come out slightly so that you can see the, there we go. Okay, so that you can see the first action that we're gonna get. I am new to this game, and as is my custom, I'm gonna make you wade through my learning because I think that is the value of watching my stream is what is this game going to look like if you're just learning the game for the first time? Because I'm learning the game for the first time. There's plenty of people that are out there that are polished, that are gonna give you these like perfect run-throughs that they fully understand the game. They've played it 85 times before they've recorded it. That's valuable for learning a game, but if you're looking to evaluate a game to decide whether you want to buy it, that may lead you down a path of buying a game that you end up hating to learn how to play. So that has certainly been the case for me in the base Caverna, so this is actually a perfect example of that. So with that in mind, the first round is usually going to take me a while, but after that we'll start to speed up pretty quick. So I did all my setup stuff. So course of play. The first thing we do every round, and I guess now is a way to say we're going to start playing the game now. This is now going to be my first action of the game, the first round of the game. So the first thing we do at the beginning of every round is we flip over the next action tile. So it's round 1, so we flip over this very first action tile. So now we have the base 4 actions and our new one. Hey, look at that. The new one happens to let us build a wall. That's cool. Okay. Well, let's just do other things too, by the way. Since we're here, let's talk about it. Anytime you see this orange box with a number in it, that's the number of orange rooms in your cave that you can activate if you take that action. So in the case of undergrowth here, we can take undergrowth and we'll be able to activate 1 orange room and get 2 wood. This one is 1 orange room and get 2, I'm going to always mess this up, 2 green and 1 flax. That's good. That's cultivation. Excavation, you can either excavate a room or spend 2 food and excavate 2 rooms. And then get 1 stone. Yeah, because this happens, the bottom of this tile happens no matter what. The choice is in the first set of the first action. So you get the top, you make a decision. The bottom you always get. Similarly, well, not similarly. Over here you actually get to do 3 things. Activate an orange building, get either a wood or a stone, and build 1 wall. That's masonry. Now, okay, so we have revealed the first tile. And then we go into the action phase, beginning with the starting player, me always, because I am playing solo. Alternate turns by choosing a face-up action tile from the action board. Well, not alternating turns because we're not playing multiplayer. I'm just going to take actions. Carry out any or all of the depicted effects, like I just talked about, on the action tile. Then slide the chosen action tile off the action board to your side. That's just to help us do some accounting. How many actions have we taken this round? I won't slide it off. I'll just slide it down. I'll offset it and we'll move on. Right. Right. Okay. Round end. The round ends after both of you have taken a certain number of turns. This number of turns is printed on the back side of the most recently revealed action tile. This was number 2 tile, so we'll be able to take 2 actions this first round. So before we flip it, we're going to be like, okay, now we get 3 actions. Now we get 4, so on. Okay. And also printed on the space occupied by that tile. So for forgetting, we don't have to flip it back over again. We can just move the tile out of the way and it's right there. If I don't move the boards too much. Okay. Consequently, you take 2 turns in each in the rounds 1 through 3 and 3 turns in the rounds 4 through 7 and 4 turns in round 8. Well, since we're playing solo, I'm not taking the 8th round, but yes. Refer to the chosen action tiles to the action board. Oh, return the chosen action tiles to the action board to the spaces from which you've taken them, pass the start player marker, and so on, blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's, I think, it. There's not much to talk about. I already talked about, there's some other rules around, like, you know, legal placement and things like that, but I'll get to those as we go. Okay. I think the rest of this I can explain. There's not much else to really talk about there. Solo game. Each time you excavate exactly 1 tile, this is a solo rule, by the way. Each time you excavate exactly 1 tile during an effect, also turn the topmost room from the draw pile, face up and place it in the central display. Oh, okay. So if I resolve the effect of a tile and it tells me to excavate a tile, but only 1 tile, then I get to add an additional action or room type to the draw. That's basically simulating that another player took a turn and revealed a tile. Also turn the topmost room from the draw pile face up and place it in the facial defense. Oh my. Okay. Oh, I see. Each time you excavate exactly 1 tile during an effect, and when you excavate, you flip your own tile, the tile that came off your board face up. That's one of the things you do when you excavate. Then you just take 1 off the draw pile and add that as well. So yeah, it's only adding 2. The one you excavated and then the simulated one that the other player excavated. Okay, the goal is to score at least 50 points in Era 1. More than 60 points is considered truly remarkable. Now, anecdotally, everything I've heard is that this game is difficult enough. The puzzle is challenging and tight enough that 50 points is even fairly aspirational. So, yeah. Okay, so let's pop back out here. Let's take a look at what we're going to do. We get to do 2 actions. I don't need to be there right now. So we'll go ahead and do this. Okay. This will primarily be the view that we use. I don't think I need to zoom in much for this game. So we have our cave entrance. We don't really need to activate it because we start with 1 of everything. So at least we can do that. Now, if we look at housework, housework is interesting because in the beginning of the game, again, it's round 1. So everything in this, not round 1, it's everything in these first 3 rounds requires only, is it? Oh no, it is just round 1. Okay. So, so I can, because it's round 1, I can spend housework. I just want to make sure I don't mess this up. Housework is interesting because is there a number on housework? A02. Aha. Housework. Okay. Carry out any or all of these effects in any order. Play food equal to the current number of dwarves. Ah. What's the current number of dwarves? I know how to determine that, but I don't know whether the first round is considered to be 1 dwarf or 2. Number of dwarves. Let me quickly find it. There we go. The furnishing effect costs an additional 2 food in rounds 1 through 3. 3 food in rounds through. Except for renovation, all action tiles with the furnishing effect will require you to pay an amount of food or gold up front before you can actually choose a room room tile to furnish. You must pay this additional cost on top of the cost depicted on the chosen room tile. If you cannot pay the additional cost, you may not use the furnishing effect. Conversely, if you do not furnish your cave, you do not have to pay additional cost. Most of the time, the additional food cost is variable depending on the number of turns, dwarves, that round that you have that round. For example, this furnishing effect costs an additional 2 food in rounds 1 through 3. Huh. And is that because it's... That is an interesting way to read that, because the way I read that is it's going to cost an additional 2 food in rounds 1 through 3 tells me that it's going to be 3 food to take that action. But I don't think that's the case. And everything I've ever read or seen on the game is that people are paying less. They're paying like 2 food. How strange. But it's in the book as saying costs an additional 2 food in rounds 1 through 3. Okay. Indicates that you can furnish a cavern. To do so, choose a room tile in central pay. Pay the depicted cost below the tile name, if any, right? And place the tile, right? Yeah, we talked about that. Talked about that. There is a limit to the number of blue rooms you can have, but we'll get to that in a minute. Except for renovation on time. This is what I just read. Okay. Number of dwarves you have that round. I guess that means I have two dwarves. Because round 1 starts here, and we're in this section where there are 2 dwarves printed here. So I have 2 dwarves in rounds 1 through 3. This is why we're taking 2 actions, because it's a worker placement game, if you will. And we have 2 workers, therefore we can take 2 actions. But what this tile says is that you pay food times the number of workers you have. So that tells me it's 2. Because unless the tile that I'm trying to build also has a food cost associated with it, there's no additional cost. So I'm going to pay whatever's on the tile plus 1 food per worker. So housework is going to be 2 food for rounds 1 through 3, unless the tile I'm building has additional food cost. Then I will pay that as well. That's how I'm going to read that. That's how I believe it is in, yes, 1 for each of you. Is how it was intended to be played. So that's how I'm going to go with it. Right. So do I want to build right now or do I want to excavate? Well, let's come back here and look. We have, if we build this tile, we can convert, wow, we can convert 1 grain into 3 food. That doesn't suck. If we build this though, shelf is pretty good. Shelf only requires 1 wood to build it, and you replenish 1 of your goods up to 2. So here's what that means. Let's say that I have to replenish something. Let's say in a previous turn, I've spent all my wood. I'm at 0 wood. I then activate the shelf. I can replenish my wood up to 2. Or, anything else. If I was down to 0 on stone, I could replenish my stone up to 2. What it doesn't mean is if I'm already at 2 and I play shelf, then nothing happens. I'm already at 2. If I'm at 3 and I play replenish, I don't go down to 2. I stay at the higher level. This just means I'm getting up to 2, essentially making sure that when the action is over, I'm at least 2 of whatever that thing is. So obviously I wouldn't play shelf if I already have more than 2. And I ideally wouldn't even play shelf if I only had 1, unless I really, really needed it. And then I could use it to get 2, because shelf gives you 2. So you want to try to get the most benefit you can. But if you need it in a pinch, shelf would really help you out. The only thing is, it only lets you do that for 1 type. So it's like you have to make a choice every round. But if I look at grindstone, right? If I look at grindstone, I'll come there and make it easier to read. There could be a good reason, like let's say I already had 2 grain and I play shelf for 1 action and grindstone for the other. Now it's suddenly just made 7 food. So these combo rather nicely together. And by the way, in the solo game, in the 2-player game, you normally you can start with 6 of these. In the solo game, you randomly pick 3 of the 6 to start with. So this starting loadout will be a little different every time. I like this shelf. I like grindstone too. So do I want grindstone now so that I can get a bunch of food? Maybe. And then use that to get more later. Not a bad idea. Here's how this is going to go. We're going to try to get both of these built in 1 round. Let's see if we can do it. This is, again, my first time playing this game. And we get 2 actions. So let's see how this goes. We're going to do that. And we're going to do that. Come back here. Cool. All right. I'll put this away. I don't need that right now. Okay, so we're going to take housework. Now, housework is cool because it says you can take both of these if you want. You have to feed your people to build a building. Oh, I can't build both of them. Oh, no, I can't build both of these because I need to excavate to do it. So maybe I excavate this first turn, and then next turn I build twice. Yeah. Okay, so that's what we'll do. And we get a stone for it. That doesn't suck. Okay, so we'll do excavate. So our first action will be, yeah, we'll do excavate. And we are going to we're only going to excavate once this first time. So we have one pickaxe, so we're going to excavate this room, which has one pickaxe on it. And when we do that, we flip it over. That tells us what we can start to build, but that goes out on the things to be built, right? So this, right? So now secret chambers out here now too, but the room on our player board has been opened up. So secret chamber is kind of annoying because it requires you to have all the walls built around it. But there is one space that makes that pretty easy. So maybe we put secret chamber in play at some point. It's worth 8 victory points at the end of the game, by the way. So, okay, so we've opened this up. That was our first decision to make with excavate. Do we do excavate once or twice? I don't want to spend the extra food. It's too early. And then we get 1 stone. So we go up on the stone track. Now we're at 2. So that was our first action. Our second action, maybe now is the time to do housework. Yeah, that's the thing to do. So now we're going to do housework. But unlike the first one where we took the easier path, now we're going to take the a harder path. So we're going to excavate, and we're going to do twice. Here's how this works. The first one says pay your people, the number of people you have, pay your number of people food. The second one says either pay 5 additional food or pay, oh, hey, thanks for the resub. All right, or you can pay 1 gold. Well, I start with 1 gold. So that's great. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do both of those. We're going to feed our people. Well, we need 2 food to do that. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to convert something. Again, we have a universal convert we can do. So we're going to convert this flax. So we're going to go down to 0 on flax, and we're going to go up on food there. So that was a conversion we just made. Flax to food. Cool. So for the first build, we're going to spend 2 food down to 0, and we're going to build the shelf. Sure. So shelf, that is illegal placement because it only requires 1 wall. And the other thing is it can't have walls around it. Well, right now it has no walls around it. So it's perfectly fine. Just this 1 wall is there. So that is a legal placement. So shelf is built. To do that, it costs 1 wood. So I spent 1 wood down to 0. Okay, so shelf is built. Our second build requires either 5 food or 1 gold. Well, I have 1 gold. So down to 0 on gold. That lets me build a second time. And like we talked about, we're going to build this grindstone in our newly excavated place. Now, grindstone, you can have a wall, an extra wall, but you don't have to. You do have to have at least 1 wall, and I do have at least one wall. So grindstone is legal to place as well. That costs a stone, so we're going to spend a stone. Okay, we got both of those built, 7 victory points at the end of the game. And we did that in 2 actions. That is the end of the round because I have done all of my actions. So let's step through the end of the first round. Round end. The round ends after both of you have taken a certain number of turns. This number is printed on the back side of most tiles. Blah, 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 blah. Return chosen action tiles to the board. Okay, I can do that. Easy. And play, yeah, okay, then play passes to the next player, which in this case is still me. Okay, so that's easy. We just go again. Cool. Oh, I excavated, that's right. There is a solo rule, and I already forgot it. I excavated one room, and it says the solo game, each time you excavate exactly one tile. Oh no, I excavated twice. That's right. Each time you during an effect. Oh. During an effect. Well, there was two effects because I took two actions and I excavated one room each. So I think I turn over two more tiles. Yeah, because it's two effects. It's during an effect. Well, there's two effects going on there. Okay, so we're going to flip over two tiles. So, because this is a solo game, this is a unique thing to the solo game. It's kind of simulating a two-player game. So there we go. I've flipped over two more tiles from our draw pile here. And one of them is an ongoing benefit. This is a prospecting site. Undergrowth. I can take undergrowth again. And if I do that, oh, anytime I take undergrowth, I can convert food to gold. Ooh. So that makes undergrowth even better. That's cool. And I have a rudimentary engine starting up that generates a lot of food. So I can maybe use prospecting, meaning undergrowth, as a sneaky way of generating money. We might want to get that out. That'd be pretty good to have. Okay. We'll come here. Right. Okay. Round two. We flip over the next action tile. We still only have two workers. The next action tile is undermining. We can either activate two orange buildings. We now have three orange buildings to activate if we chose. Or excavate even through walls. So if I already had built a wall to satisfy a building, I could mine through it. It wouldn't matter. But as it is, we still have access to all of the mining areas. So there's no walls getting in our way yet. We do have some tiles that are requiring a lot of walls. So we don't have a ton of resources left either. So we need to be worrying about that. Secret chamber would be nice because secret chamber gives us 3 flax. Cultivation gives us 2 grain and a flax. That wouldn't be bad. So maybe we excavate again, and then we do cultivation for my second action, because that would let me activate a room. I like it. I like it. Let's do that. So we're going to excavate for our first action. We're not going to take the secondary. We don't have any food in order to do it. We don't have food in order to build either, so we can't build even if we wanted to. But we're going to excavate this tile. And what is it? It is the treasury. Also requires all 4 rooms. We're getting a bad draw there. But treasury, kind of, you spend money to make money. So you invest $3 and it makes you $4 and a food. That's kind of fun. But it requires $3 to build. Woo. Okay. Oh, hey, what do we have here? We have gain of food. What does that say? Gain of food says placing a tile. Oh, you only get food when excavating. Okay, so that's now. Aha, there it is. Okay, if you uncover a +1 food symbol, you immediately gain 1 food. Neat. Cool. So I gain a food. Not enough to actually build, but that will really come in handy. Okay, I think we're still on the right track. Let's do cultivation for our next action. We get to activate one of our orange buildings, and we also get 2 grain, 1, 2, and 1 flax. Okay, so let's activate one of our buildings. We have 3. We need 1 more. So I think we could set ourselves up for a lot of food. I think we should do that. I was thinking we could get another wood. But instead, I actually would give us 2 wood if we did that. But instead, we could just activate cave entrance, which gives us 1 extra grain. And that would set us up for activating another building next round to get us 7 food. Is that worth doing? Is that efficient enough? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We could start using undermining though. Undermining lets us activate 2. Thank you. I heard you. Activate 2 buildings instead of 1. But no extra benefits. But that's okay. Now that we have a couple buildings that are worth activating, it might be okay just to do that. So maybe we do just do cave entrance. Yeah, we're just going to do cave entrance. We're going to take advantage of grindstone right away. We're going to go up to 4 there. Okay, did we get a stone? We didn't get a stone for excavating. We should have. So we're going to go up to, oh no, we did. We did, because I spent that stone earlier and got it back. Never mind. Okay. I think that's it for that turn. It seems seems like a rather lackluster turn, but it's, I think, somewhat of a recovery turn. But we did excavate and we got some food, so that doesn't suck. Okay, so back to here, and now we go again. 2 actions. This tile now exposed. Ooh, it is furnishing 1 food, and we can furnish an empty room space if we wanted to spend food to do it. We should, though, this round, do a furnish. Maybe we do housework again, because housework would let us, I'd have to spend 7 food to do it, but I could furnish twice. I don't think I have the ability to furnish twice, actually, but I should at least furnish once, because so maybe furnishing is the thing to do, because I get spare food and furnish 1 time. Yeah. Because I'm about to have additional workers, which is going to cost me more food. So if I'm going to furnish, now is the time in this round. So I think we want to furnish once. We know that. What else do we want to do? Probably undermining. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to do undermining first. Undermining first and furnishing second. That's our take. Bongo boys, look at it. That's so good. Love it. Love it. Okay, so undermining first. We get to activate 2 of our orange buildings. Well, we have 4 food, so we're going to activate grindstone for 1 of our actions. That takes 4 grain and produces 7 food. So 4 down to 0. And from food, we're at 1 up to 8. 7 food. So good. Okay, now we have a bunch of food. Now our second action, I think we we'll use shelf, and we'll bring our wood from 0 to 2 with shelf. All right, so that was undermining. And now we're going to use furnish. I gain a food. So now we're at 9. And I get to furnish 1 time. I have 2 dwarves, so I feed 2. All right, what can I build? There's only 1 building that I can build right now. I can build yeah, that's true, because I didn't build a wall in masonry, so I can really only build prospecting, because everything else has a wall configuration that I don't have a room configured currently to support. But we want prospecting anyway. We talked about that before. So we're going to do that. We're going to build prospecting. It has no additional cost, which is also really nice. So we're going to build prospecting. And we're going to put that here. It only requires 1 wall, and that's right here. Okay, so now every time we take undergrowth from here on out, we get to convert a food into money. That's great, because I'm out of money, and money's helpful. Okay, that's the end of the round. Going by quick. Next round. Now we have 3 actions. Is that true here? No, it isn't. Now we have 3 actions. We have 3 dwarves, 3 actions, and now furnishing costs 3 food and not 2. Expansion just came out, and I can excavate for 1 and then spend 5 food to furnish, or 2 gold if I have it. That's expensive to do 1 furnishing, but I can do it in 1 action. And it's not a times thing. So yeah, it's 5, but it's not like I have 3 workers, so it's 3 food. So it's either 3 food or 5 food. And I get to the advantage of doing it all in 1 action. I have 3 actions, so that's nice. What do I want to do? I need to expand, and I'm gunning to come down here and get this room emptied, because I have 2 rooms that want all 4 walls, and this room has 3 walls already, so I'm really just building 1 wall. So I think we want to excavate here next. We could take excavation and spend 2 food to excavate twice. So it would be here and then here in 1 action. I think that's a good move. Yeah. So we're going to take excavation as one of our first our 3 actions. And we're going to spend 2 foods, so 7 down to 5, and we're going to excavate here. Yeah. And we are excavating twice, so this is 1 effect, so therefore we're not adding another tile from the stack. Now let's see what we got. Can we see that all right? I'll leave it up for now. If it's too busy, you can't figure it out, that's great. I can black out the screen if it's helpful to read it. But this is what we added. We added the junction room and the bakehouse. Bakehouse is interesting also because, although I don't really need to worry about food, because I have the means to do that already with the grindstone. So maybe I just ignore bakehouse and go for one of these 2 4-wall rooms. I like the secret chamber because it can produce 3 flax just by running it. Junction room is interesting. I have to spend 3 of any resource, but they have to be different resources. 3 different resources of any kind, of any combination, and I get 2 gold for that. I'm not really in this generalized state where I'm generating a bunch of the same type of thing, though, or like various different kinds. So I'm going to be generating a lot of like 1 or 2 things, I think. So I think junction room is going to be harder to use than maybe it looks. So I think maybe what I'll do is focus on getting secret chamber built. It's worth 8 victory points, and it generates flax when I activate it. Okay, that's a current plan. Okay, so we took excavate, and we excavated twice. We didn't get our stone for that action, though, so we did that just now. I want to activate some buildings. That would be good. In fact, I'm kind of wondering. No, I need to furnish. I have 5 food. I don't have any gold, but I do have a flax. So maybe I convert that flax into gold and build twice. Can I build twice? Is there a building where I can? I don't think that exists. Maybe I just build the one time. If that's the case, then maybe I run expansion instead. But undergrowth gives me the ability to convert food to gold, so maybe undergrowth is the thing to go. I don't know. Trixie. I want to activate a bunch of buildings, so part of me thinks go do undermining. What would I do if I do undermining? Well, I'd probably go shelf to get up my grain from 0 to 2. And I could do cave entrance to go 1 more. That would give me 3, but it's not enough. So maybe, since that's the case, I go cultivate, which lets me activate 1 room, and it gives me the other 2. So that would give me, in 1 action, it would give me 4 more grain, which would set me up for running grindstone later. I don't need it right now, but it would be set. I would be set to do that. And then for my 3rd action, I could build the secret room. No, I can't do that though, because I need to run masonry to build the wall. That's okay though. Let's just take masonry. Let's do masonry. Lets me activate 1 building. So we'll activate shelf, which gives me 2 grain. That's fine. And then it gives me either a wood or a stone. The buildings that I want to build require 2 wood and a stone, secret sharp. So I'm going to go up on my wood for instead, and then I get to build a wall. So here's how walls work. I just take a wall piece and I say, this is where I want to build a wall. Look at that. And now I have the wall, which is secret garden is set up, secret chamber is set up to be built right there. Okay, so for my last action, I want to build. I think I want to build. Maybe I expand and build. I have 5 food. It would bring me down to 0. But 5 food would let me do that. I can excavate and build in 1 shot. Is there something that I want to build that would help me do that? Well, let's look. Depending on what comes out, the only thing I could build, if I excavate this bottom corner here, the only thing I could really build readily is the weaving room, which I don't need. Now I could plan on putting either the junction or the tunnel. Those don't really excite me either, though. I could build one of those. Bakehouse, 2 grain gives me 4 food and a gold, or 3 grain gives me 4 food and 2 gold. Interesting. Okay, so I think bakehouse makes sense to put here. And then one of these two, tunnel or junction room, could go here. Okay, we're getting there. So first and foremost, I think then we're going to play expansion. And we're going to excavate here. And we got...
What did he say?
Wrong button. And we got gold vein. Okay, so gold vein costs $5 to make it. Woo. But it produces stone and gold, just stone and gold straight out. And it's worth 9 victory points at the end of the game. Man, that might be worth actually getting if I can get enough gold to build it. Damn. I was going to build the bakehouse, but maybe I build gold vein. Jeez. I don't know. That seems like a lot. It's an investment in victory points. That's what that is. But that's pretty cool. Okay. So I did my excavation, and now I get to spend 5 food, so 5 down to 0, and we get to furnish. So back to here. We're going to build the secret chamber, which costs 2 wood. I'm at 3, down to 1, and 1 stone, 2 down to 1. We've now spent that, and we can build the secret chamber, which goes right here. Cool. So now we have secret chamber as a room we can activate, and when we do, we can either get a gold or we can get 3 flax. All right, that is the end of this round because we are out of actions. Back to here, back to here. Here we go again. We did excavate 1 room, so that means we should have turned over an additional tile. We got the storeroom. Interesting. Kind of useless, though, for my sake. I mean, it's nice in that it's kind of a generalist thing, but nah. Okay. I'm looking for some blue rooms here. That'd be real nice. So we flip over the next tile. We still have 3 actions. It is drift mining. 2 more rounds, probably even 1 more, just 1 more round. Let me look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. We'll look. But drift mining is activate 1 building and excavate. No cost. Interesting, interesting, interesting. I kind of want more actions, so I think I'm going to excavate. I like some more buildings that I can build, some different options. I could cultivate for action 1. Get some more food back. I think let's do that. Action 1, we'll cultivate. We'll take the bottom one first, which is 2 grain, 1, 2, up to 4, and 1 flax. And we get to activate a building, so we'll activate grindstone. We'll spend 4 grain to get 7 food, so 0 up to 7. Now we want to excavate twice. So we'll do, will we? Let me look. Undergrowth, yeah. Yeah, so we'll do excavate. We'll spend 2 food to excavate twice. And I think we'll go up twice, I think, so we can have access to another corner. So we'll take these 2. And it's 1 action, so we don't get an extra tile draw, but that's okay. And we got lucky because we did get a blue tile. It is the wood storeroom. Costs a stone to make, requires a corner. Every time we activate a building of any, or activate a room of any kind, if we take an action that only lets us activate one building, we get an extra wood. Useful, but do we want to do that? I almost like digging caves better if we can get the wood, because you can spend a gold to excavate. But that's activating a whole room. But it's an activation. I'm not spending an action to do it. I'm activating a room to do it. So that means I could activate 2-3 rooms possibly, and one of them could mean I excavate, which would be kind of cool. Tricky. Yeah. No, that was my fault. I pushed the wrong button. Okay. What am I gonna do here? We only have 2 more rounds to the end of arrow 1. Victory points are on my mind. I don't have a lot of money. I'm not playing actions right now that let me make money. There are some that I have that can. But and I believe money is worth a 1 point at the end of the game. So I should be trying to pay attention to that a little bit. Maybe we, for our last action, we do masonry and build a wall. Yeah. We need 1 more stone, but we're going to get it from masonry. So masonry lets us activate 1 room. So we'll activate, what'll it be? Secret chamber. We'll get 3 flax. So we're at 2 now. We're up to 5. And then we get 1 stone, I think, instead of wood, because the building I want to build requires more stone than wood. Okay. And then we get to build a wall. And we will put that wall right here. Okay. That was masonry. That was the 3rd action. I'm debating right now. Kind of what to do with my next turns here. Okay. Up to there. Last action of round 3 of the 3 worker sections here. This is like round 7, I think. And we now have expedition. Gain either 5 food or 5 wood. No, I see. Spend either 5 wood or 5 stone and get 4 bucks, or activate 3 buildings. That's powerful. Three buildings. Wow. What do I want to build here? I'm looking. We thought about building the bakehouse, and we have the resources to do it. So maybe we build first. It would cost me 3 food. I think that makes sense. I could spend all 5 and excavate as well. I have a means of making food rather quickly right now. I have a lot of flax. I'm tempted to do expansion to save myself the action. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do expansion, and I'm going to build once and excavate. So I'm going to excavate first. We'll excavate here. Oh, we got a food. Okay, so we'll go up food. Now we're at 6 food. And we uncovered the dungeon. Let's see, does that fit on the board? It does not. All right, fine. We'll go over here. I think that'll fit. Yeah, okay, great. We have the dungeon, which costs a lot to build, requires all 4 walls to be filled in. But every time we build a wall from that point forward, we gain $2. Wow. Not quite what I expected, but all right. 11 victory points, though. I might want to build that just to build it. 11 victory points seems pretty good to me. Wow. Let's build that. We need a wall. So I think we're going to build masonry. We're going to take masonry again. And then I think we have to build for our 3rd action. Yeah. Activate a building. What's it going to be? We have the food. We could activate secret chamber again, get 3 more flax. Why not? I can convert it into food. It doesn't even require me to send any or to spend any resources. So yeah, I'm going to take my run room activation. I'm going to activate secret chamber. There I go again. 5 to 8. And I also get a wood or a stone. I want to build the dungeon. I need money. Maybe instead of taking these as 3, I take it as 1 gold. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Because that's the other option with secret chamber. Okay, so since I need that, I need 3 stone for that, so I'll go 1 stone for my masonry benefit. And then for the wall I'll build that wall here. So now, I guess rather than doing that, I'll do it over here. Yeah, I'll do it here. That way, I can still build something here that requires 2 walls on either side. So that's pretty good. Right. For our 3rd trick, I think I'm going to what am I going to do? I need to get 3 gold, and then what's the fastest way to do that? I could do secret chamber for 1. I could I need to do undergrowth for another one. When you activate buildings, can you activate the same building over and over again? I doubt it. Using rooms. Yeah. Different orange rooms. Yeah. Ah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, they have to be different. Okay, that's what I figured. So I can't just go gold, 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 unfortunately. So if I were to do that, oh, that's interesting. But it's either or, though. Well, what if I were to I just took masonry already. I could take excavation and do one excavation, and that would give me a stone. I don't really want to do that, though. Oh, drift mining would do it, though. Because then it would give me... Oh, it wouldn't do it, though. It wouldn't give me an extra stone, would it? I'm trying to get to... But I don't want to use stone for that. What is it? 1. I'm trying to get to 5 wood so I can make 4 gold from expedition, because that's what I'm trying to do. But I don't have a woods production thing. Undergrowth, which I need to do anyway, which would give me money. Undergrowth might be the thing to do. Would give me 2 wood, which would get me to 3. Man, do I have enough actions left to get dungeon built by the end of era 1? I don't know. Because I need to get the money first. That's tough. We'll see. I think we take undergrowth. Undergrowth lets us activate 1 building and you get 2 wood. So we'll take the 2 wood first from 1 to 3. Because I took undergrowth and I have prospecting site built, it gives me the ability to convert 1 food into gold. So I'll do that down to 5, up to 2. And then I get to activate a building. So I will activate secret chamber and get another money. So now we're at 3. Okay, that's the end of the round for me. Yeah. Okay. Before I flip over to tile 4, I just want to make sure that I even get to do that in a solo game. Era 1 goes for 7 rounds. Okay, so this was round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah. Yeah, I would. Okay. Renovation. Add a wall and build a building. Wow. Add a wall, build a building. Well, I want to get dungeon built before I use renovation because I'll get 2 more gold for it. So I'm 1 gold away. From being able to build dungeon. So I need to activate undergrowth again? Maybe. Maybe so. Lots of things need wood. No reason not to have wood. Yeah, undergrowth. Whew, this feels like it's a waste, but I think it's the thing to do. Maybe I just go expedition and activate 3 buildings. But there's not really a value to doing that because the only thing I can increase is this one with shelf. So I think instead I do just go undergrowth. Yeah. Yeah. Undergrowth, 1 action, 2 wood. So from 3 to 5. 1 action is secret chamber gold. So up to 4. Now I want to build 1 time and I can excavate 1 time as well. Do I spend all 5 of my food to do that? I can get easy food at least 1 time. Do I do that? Or do I build a building first? I have the money, I have the stone. So I could do expansion. Yeah, let's do expansion. Expansion. We do excavation first here. And we get sacrificial altar. Ooh, fancy. Everybody loves a sacrificial altar. 1 of each for $3. Wow. That could come in handy if I can get it built. I may not be able to get the stone that fast. Okay, so that was my excavation. Did that for free, and now it's going to cost me 5 food, so 5 down to 0. We're going to build the dungeon for 11 victory points. It's going to cost me $4 down to 0 and 3 stone down to 0. Dungeon gets built for 11 victory points. We're going to put that over here in our little secret dungeon. Now, every single time I build a wall from here on out, I earn $2. I have taken 2 actions. I need to take a 3rd. Treasury is 10 victory points. It requires 3 gold. I don't think I can get it built in 1 action. Can I? No. Because treasury requires 3 gold, I'm at 0. I'd have to earn 3 gold, which I can do if I can activate 2 buildings. No, 1 building. Masonry. Masonry, I can get 1 gold, build a wall, which would earn me 2 more gold, which would build me the treasury, and it would give me the wall I need. This is my last action right here, masonry. Yeah, we're going to get it built. Okay, so in what order? We'll activate the building first. We'll activate secret chamber for 1 gold. We'll build a wall, and that, because I have dungeon, earns me 2 gold. So 1, 2. So now we're at 3. And to build treasury, it requires all 4 walls. So we'll go ahead and close this one off too. So that'll be the wall we just built. $3. If we look at treasury requires $3, down to 0, and we build treasury. Treasury goes right in here. This is great. Now, every time we amass $3, we can invest it to make $4 in a food. Not a bad room to activate periodically after you've built a wall and earned $1 from secret chamber. So now I can execute 3 buildings and or 2 buildings even, right? Could build a wall and then activate 2 buildings and then make a bunch of cash. Convenient. Okay. That is the end of round 4. Oh, no, it isn't. I have 4 actions in round 4. Ooh, I have a whole other action. What do I want to do? Money, I think. What do I want to do to make money real fast? I'm at 0 money. I think the best I can do is build a wall. Does a wall have to be anchored to anything, or can it just be any wall segment anywhere? 'Tis a good question. Wall configuration. Yeah, I know that. Yeah. Building a wall. Between any 2 adjacent cavern spaces on your cave board. Okay. Cool. Oh. Wait, what? Oh, right. Okay. Yep, great. Perfect. Okay, what that means, though, is that I could build a wall, if I wanted to, I could build a wall right here. That's pretty cool. That's allowed. So I might do that. How can I build a wall? Renovation will let me build a wall. But I also then have to build a building. Is there a building that I A, can build, and B, want to build? Weaving room, 2 food and 2 money for flax, and I have the ability to make flax. That would be cool. I don't even have to build a wall for that, but I think I could. It's 2 wood, which I have. Bakehouse seems interesting because I can easily get 2, possibly 3 grain. Food's not really the worry, though. Gold is. So maybe weaving room is the thing to do. Yeah, let's do weaving room. Okay, so we're going to do renovation for our last action here. I'll just move it down here for the sake of noting what we're doing. I get to build a wall for free, and I get to build a building for no additional cost. This is great. So we build a building, we build a wall, and because of that, we're using our dungeon benefit, which gets us $2, up to $2. The wall we'll build is here just to give us some extra flexibility. We don't need to build it, but that's what we'll do. And then the building we're building is the weaving room. A, because we can build it right now, and B, because I think it's the better building for the second era, I think. I don't know. We'll go weaving room. And we will put weaving room. When you build buildings, do they have to be adjacent to other buildings? I never even looked. Furnishing. No. Huh. Fascinating. Okay, cool. That's nice. So I can just put weaving room up here in that corner. Great. 2 wood, 5 down to 3. Extra 5 victory points. And because I made $2 when building that wall, it's actually 7 victory points because I got 2 money out of the deal. Nice. So I got it built, but I don't think I got a ton of points. But all right. Now what happens? Do we set up for era 2? Do we score and then set up for era 2? Yes. Interesting. Okay. So we do like end of game scoring. I didn't grab a pen. Of course I didn't. Should have, didn't. One moment, I will grab a pen. Okay. Pen has been grabbed. Now, let's see. How do we score the thing? Is this arrow 1? Yeah, this is arrow 1. Oh, that's nice. Okay, cool. So we just look at the point value on all of our buildings. Okay, that's easy enough. So that's 5. That's 12. 5, 3, and 4, so 12. 22. 33. 43. Plus 8 is 51. No. Is that right? Yeah, 51. Cool. 51. And then 1 point per gold is, I have 2 golds, so that's 2, so 53 points. You know what? I feel pretty good about that because it said at the end of the solo game, score at least 50 victory points. More than 60 is considered truly remarkable. Well, I got 53. That's pretty good. So I have successfully completed era 1. I have not looked at era 2 very heavily. Thank you. Thank you very much. Huzzah to me. So we'll have to kind of look a little carefully about what we do with era 2. Era 2 introduces new action spaces. What? Okay. Let's take a look at how this works. Front side, back side. Backside solo game. What are you talking about? Okay. Randomly remove 3 of the 6 rooms of era 2. What do we do when, do we keep the rooms out for era 1? I don't think so. I think we move on, but let's see. Let's see. Leave everything as is for now and read the rules for era 2 in the following pages. Okay. So scoring is done for now. I'll move that out of the way. And what do we do in the multiplayer game for era 2? Remove the rightmost action board piece and the renovation action tile from the game. Attach the action board. Oh, yeah. That's weird. That's strange. All right, anyway. Remove the rightmost action board and the renovation tile from the game. Attach the action board extension to the action board and place the removed piece. Front side 2-player game. Backside solo game. Hey, NetGod, can you go look something up for me if you have a moment? Board Game Geek, I'm curious whether or not the solo game for era 2 of Caverna Cave versus Cave, do you use the 4 action space board, the action board extension, as it's called in the book, or not? Because it says the backside is for the solo game, but the backside ain't nothing but trees. So I don't get why they would say use the backside for the solo game unless this tile is not used in the solo game, and the rule book does not make that distinction. So I will keep reading while we figure out that. But shuffle the Era 2 action tiles, distribute them face down. Okay. I do have the Era 2 action tiles. Uno momento. Danke schön. Mein Herr. All right. Right. Era room tiles by their illustration on the back side. 6 room. Yeah, great. Okay. Shuffle the 15. Right. Did that. So I have these. I think we get rid of the extra buildings. I think that's how this works. If I'm reading this right, we don't keep these. I'm going to put them aside in case I'm wrong, but so they're not, I'm not going to lose them. I have them on the side in case they are staying out, but I doubt it. I believe these come out. Shuffle the 15 rooms with dark gray backside. Place 8 of them on the Era 2 cave board. Era 2 cave board. Ooh, really? So I get a whole new set of actions? Is that what I'm seeing here? These are tiles. Oh. Place 8 of them. Era 2 cave board. What do you mean by cave board? Duh. Right, we talked about that at the beginning of the game. We get a whole new section of cave. We so fancy. We got more room, y'all. Okay. Now, how that works is we take 8 of these tiles and we just randomly cover 4, 5, 6, 7. What's also strange is that it says in the solo game to use 8 tiles, but on the board it says don't put a tile here. So which one is it? Is it 7 tiles in an empty space? Or is it 8 tiles like the book says, but I covered this space up? That's another question I have. I don't know. I saw that earlier and I was like, wait a minute, what? Okay. The which board? Oh, this board up here. This is called the Action Board Extension. Action Board Extension in Era 2. Yes. Mm-hmm. Turn the action board extension to the side showing a single symbol. This board has no symbols on it. What do you mean? I think I understand what they're saying. I think I finally got it. Okay, you ready for this? Here's the answer. This board with 4 spaces on it has nothing on the back side and is only intended, I believe, to be used in a 2-player game. The action board has this tile here. This is This is what actually sits at the end, and it does have a single icon on it, which is what this says. Turn the action board extension to the side showing this symbol. I think it's only meant to be played solo with this in place. And I'm not supposed to use this at all, but that's weird because there's things on here that relate only to resources in the Era 2 game. So if I don't have these extra capabilities, then how do I use those? That seems like I wouldn't be able to use those activities at all. That seems odd to me. But do not add any walls. The Era 2 walls remain unused. Do not add walls. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 walls now. Is that too many? Was I not supposed to have that many walls in Era 1? Let's go see. Setup, walls, 7 walls. Nope, doesn't say anything about limiting the number of walls. Well, I'm glad you believe you have an answer because I'm coming up 100% empty. Yeah, I'm not thrilled about my answer because it doesn't make any sense. But for the multiplayer game, for the solo game, to not have those extra capabilities. But it could just be that the action tiles are what they are. But it's weird because there's a bunch of resources that I need to have that I can't even earn unless I have those extra spots. Quick start variant, Era 2 setup.
What did he say?
The vid command. What? Oh. Okie dokie. Determine the score difference after the draft. Right. Return unused walls to the supply along with the 7th Era 1 wall. What are you talking about, Era walls? There's no Era walls. They're all just walls. Good Lord, this book is killing me. There's no like Era markings on the walls, and they're like, don't use Era 2 walls. And I'm like, what do you mean Era 2 walls? There are 3 walls in Era 2. Okay. So for the solo game, we don't use them, I guess, is what that's telling me. The Era 2 walls remain unused. Okay, well, then we won't use the walls. Fine. Okay. Maybe we do leave those buildings out. And we just add the Era 2 starting buildings to the listing of buildings that are there. With the addition of the Era 2 keyboard, the opening has moved. It is now the bottom. Yeah. Okay, got it. Right. Oh, okay, that's what that means. Okay, yes, I am going to pull all 8 tokens. What this means is I have to clear this tile before I can clear anything else. What that means. As a consequence, the winner of Era 1, who had to place 8 room tiles on their Era 2 board, must remove this tile above the opening before they can excavate anywhere else in their cave. Because the opening, you have to trace the entrance. You have to trace back. There's rules around excavation. I was following them, but there's rules around excavation. You have to be able to trace a path to the wall that you're excavating from the entrance. But because you start the game with the entrance blocked in the solo game, you must clear this first before you have access to the rest of the cave to excavate. In my case, the only thing to excavate is the Era 2 board, so I would need to clear this anyway. But I wouldn't be able to, if I started like this, because I was the second, if I was, let's say I was behind, I was not the player with the most victory points at the start of Era 2, I would have the ability to just excavate one of these two. But the starting player would end up with a slight handicap. They would end up with an extra tile to excavate. That's the reality. In the solo game, you're always the one with the most points, so you always start with all 8 tiles out. You have that handicap that you have to work through, which is fine. I don't care. I have places I can build buildings. It's not going to kill me. Yeah. But that doesn't answer a few questions. Do I keep the, let's see, Era 2 extends the game by 4 rounds and is played in the same fashion as Era 1. The start player changes as normal. The player who went first in Era 1 also goes first in Era 2. As indicated on the Era 2 action tiles and spaces, each round you will be taking 4 turns each, as you did in the final round of Era 1. As normal, at the start of each round, turn the next tile face up, and you can freely choose among the available face-up actions, including those from Era 1. Okay. I don't see that there's a possibility that I don't have those extra 4 tiles. I just don't see how that's possible. I would have to. Era 1, Era 2. Front side. Okay. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of juggling of these action tiles to make this all look okay on camera. So give me a moment. I need to kind of monkey around with this for a second. We're going to take that board off for just a second. We're going to slide this one down. We're going to move this into place. Renovation comes off, they said. Fine. That tile comes off. This comes on. Okay. So that's done, sort of. Okay, you can see 3 of the 4 actions there. So what we'll then do is we will move these down here. These are the old Action 1 actions. They are available to us. I'll have to figure out how to demonstrate that I've used them. I might just flip them over. I don't know. We'll figure that out. So now we have a bunch of actions. We're going to get a bunch more. I have shuffled these. These are randomly put out here, and we'll put the last one on this side. Kind of like what we did before. I might put it here just because it's easier to read. But, okay. I think what we've done, there is a bit of a hinky thing at the last space, but I'll work that out. I can explain it when we get there. I think that's probably the best thing to do. Okay, so we've got a bunch of things we can do. Right. Place the remaining 7 rooms in a draw pile. Okay, so over here on our, in fact, I'll turn that on for a second. So over here on our tile selection board, we have 3 Era 2 tiles that get added, room tiles that get added to our available rooms to be built. I see nothing about removing the old tiles that were out, so we're going to include them. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but it didn't say to get rid of them. So instead, I'm going to leave them. These are the rooms that we had available for building at the end of Era 1. I can choose to build them if I wish, or I can focus to building on these. Like Era 1, there are 6 of these tiles, and I only get to see 3 at the start of the game. And I'm no longer going to be drawing from the Era 1 room tile stack because I've excavated everything in the Era 1 cave. Therefore, the only tiles that I can possibly be adding from the stack are going to be from the Era 2 stack. The 3 we got says Castle Market, and it says spend 0, 1, or 2 gold and get 1, 2, or 3 donkeys. Remember, donkeys can be converted into food. That's good. There's other reasons to have them. We'll get into that, but that's one. Then there's Cave Silo, 2 iron, which is a net new resource. In fact, I'm going to scoot everything over. I still kept all my resources in the right spot, but I'm going to scoot it all over here. You can't see, but I will do that. Yeah. So I've scooted off over all my resources there, and then we get to add, I believe we start with 1 of all the new resources, or not. None? None or 1? I don't know. Setup. Good indicator on the 1. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we have iron. That just got added. We've got donkey. We've got coal. Is that the name of that? Is that coal? I think that might be coal. Ore. Yeah, ore. I don't know why you'd say ore instead of iron, because iron is ore too, but okay. This is considered ore, and these are weapons. So again, iron, donkey, ore, weapons. In addition to our starting resources from Era 1, stone, wood, flax, grain, gold, and food. These only come in play in Era 2. So, back to Cave Silo. We'll go here, then here. Cave Silo. Costs 2 iron to build Cave Silo, but it gives you 2 grain. 4 grain, sorry. 2. So every time you activate Cave Silo, you just get 4 grain. Boom. Which is really great because I happen to have the grindstone. So I can now just activate Cave Silo once, grindstone once, 7 food. Instant. Store. Spend 1 gold, gain 4 food, 1 ore, and 1 flax. Not too shabby. Let's look let's look here, up there for just a moment, because this is somewhat new. We're going to come over there, and we're going to move over here to take a look at this board. Okay. So this is the tile that you can't see in the main view. It normally would live here. But these things happen at the bottom of these tiles. So when we flip these over, there's going to be something happening there. So what does that mean? Bonus effects. Each space on the action board extension now features a bonus effect that you can use before, after, or between the effects on the action tile in that space. The bonus effect is printed below the space. As you can only choose face-up action tiles, the bonus effect of future rounds are not available. So when we start the game, we're going to flip that over. And then this will be the only space with a bonus action available to us. Right. Right. Okay. The goal of Era 2 is to score more than 180 victory points in the solo game. Crazy pants. Note also that in between the rounds, we will gain an ore for every donkey that we have. You can see that here. So we're going to start the game here. Nothing will happen. We move to the second round. And then before we start the round, this happens. And then we do the round, and then we go here, and that happens again. We go here, and that happens again. So the more donkeys we gain without spending them on food, by the time we reach the end of the game, we will earn a bunch of ore. Ore, I believe, is used... I don't think it's considered gold, but let's see what the end game scoring looks like for 2 here. Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. No, that's gold. Iron is considered half a point. Weapons are considered 1 a point each. Gold is half a point as well. Mental note, gold is a full point in Era 1 and a half a point in Era 2. So gold is effectively 1.5 victory points when playing Era 2. Interesting. So ore is, even though you earn ore, you're not gaining victory points for it. So it must be a resource that we need to spend on stuff. But I haven't seen that yet. So give me a moment. I'll check on something. Okay. All right. Heard a strange sound from one of the dogs. Wanted to make sure everybody was okay. Everybody's all right. So what do we want to do? Well, we've got let's just do that. We've got a bunch of tiles there. I feel like food's not the issue. I think we want to get cave silo going. We're going to gain an iron ore when we use the new action coming up at the beginning of the game. In fact, let's start that now. Let's start the beginning of Era 2 right now. So we're going to flip over the first tile. And it is spend 3 gold to get 4 weapons and either a... What is that symbol? Oh, wood. Either a donkey or a wood. It's called arms trade. This lets you convert ore into iron ore. Ah, I see. So So if I go here, I need to figure out how to make one more gold. That should be easy enough. And I take the 3 ore. And then later, I have a donkey, so I'm going to earn, I might even have 2 by then. I'll earn 1 or 2 more ore. And then I'll come here for 5 and I'll get 3 iron for it, which will then let me build the cave silo. I like that. So basically, in the second round, I'm building cave silo. I have 1, so really I could just take the 1 and then worry about ore later. But it would be a nice way to invest in iron. And then if I did that, though, I would end up with one iron left over, which would be good. Huh. Do I build? I could build the cave silo now, and then not have any iron left over, or I can wait 1 turn and build it and end up with 1 iron left over. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, I have 4 actions. This is the first thing that I can do. So 4 actions is pretty powerful. Yeah, and I think that's seeing this conversion space here is actually what made me go, oh, that's why you're calling it ore, because there's a refinement bonus action. So you're earning a bunch of ore, and then you can take this action to process it. Nice. Okay, so I have 3 wood. If I took undergrowth right now, I'd get 2 wood, which I could then use expedition to get 4 gold. If I did that, then I can turn around and use arms trade to get a donkey and get iron. Then I'd have 2 actions left. I don't have any food, though. I could fix that. I can also fix that with flax. I have 5 flax. I can just convert into food as needed. I like it. Undergrowth. Undergrowth gives me 2 wood. I need the wood to build buildings, but I'll worry about that later. 2 wood. I get to activate 1 building or one room. So I'll take my 2 wood, 3 to 5. Oh, can't see. There we go. So my wood's up here now. Okay. Now, which building do I want? I could generate food, but I'm not going to right now. I took undergrowth, so I'll tap it. But what building do I want to activate? I think I'm just going to activate Secret Chamber. Seems like the thing to do. I took undergrowth, though. It lets me convert a food. So maybe I do something to get food first. I have 1 flax or 1 grain, so I'm going to activate Grindhouse from my undergrowth building, which will take that down to 0 and give me 3 food. Now, Because I took undergrowth, prospecting site lets me convert 1 food into 1 gold. So now I ended up with 2 food and an extra gold, which is great. Okay, now I'm going to take arms trade. I'm just going to tap everything. That's probably the way to go. 3 gold down to 0. And I get 4 weapons, so I've up to 5 weapons. I get a donkey. That was probably more important than anything, too. Because I didn't get the wood. I chose the donkey instead. Now I get to choose this extra right here. I could get a donkey right now, which would mean that I would get 3 ore in between this next turn and this turn and the next turn. So that would put me at 4, which would only earn me 2 iron, but that's okay because I'm starting my iron investment. The more donkeys I can get, the more ore I get. The more ore I get, the more iron I can create. I feel like I get a donkey. Let's get 1 more donkey. Let's see how well this efficiency engine works. The overlay turned off. What? Oh, turn the overlay off? Overlay shouldn't even be on. All right, hold on. I don't even know why it's on. Should have done it on its own. That's strange. Why do I see that? Why do you see that and I don't? It was, you weren't paying attention. Oh yeah, it should have turned itself off. Okay. Oh, the rooms. Oh, I was like, what overlay? You seeing something? Okay, never mind. Confusion. You're good now, though. Yes? Okay. All right. So I took the donkey as an investment in my ore future. Thank you. Okay. So do I do that? I think I do that because I can spend my time doing other things right now. I could get $4 if I take expedition, or I can activate 3 rooms. $4 seems good, except that I'm going to be spending all of my wood, which that kind of hurts. I have 2 actions left. I want to make them count. I can get money by building walls. I don't really want to build walls. I need to excavate too. That would be helpful. I want to get that cave silo built, but Hey, thanks for the raid, Meta Nightshade. Welcome in, Raiders. We are finishing up a rousing game of Caverna Cave versus Cave. This is the beginning of Era 2. I have very little idea what I'm doing because it is a new game to me, but that's half the fun. And if you're familiar with my channel, that is my MO. But we're doing all right. We're doing all right. Thanks for coming and joining us today. If board games are your thing, please consider subscribing. We would love to have you, or at least giving us a follow. So, we have 2 actions left in this first round of Era 2, and we're debating how not to waste our time. I want to excavate. I don't have the food to do it. I don't have the gold to do it. So maybe I do spend the wood, get 4 gold, and then use the gold to excavate and expand. We can get an Era 2 building or room tile exposed to doing it that way. That could work. Or what? Is there something better to do? Excavate, get a stone, fine. Activate a building, build a wall, not really interesting. Renovation. I thought renovation was supposed to leave. I think it's not supposed to be here. Renovation is not an option. Thought I remember reading that. Okay. Now, I could do cultivation, which would let me, I would get 2 grain and 1 flax, and then I could convert one of those grain into 3 food, which then I could use for expansion without having to spend my gold. But that's 2 actions to run expansion. And I would end up with no gold. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Oh, also, nah. What do I want to do? What's more important right now? I got 2 food. I'm able to build without using food. There are other ways to do that. Although that was renovation. Renovation's gone. Well, I need food in order to build then, so do I though? Because I think we can do that with the gold. That's back to gold again. We can get gold by the treasury. Will manufacture some gold for us. Secret chamber will do the same for us. Building walls will also do it. So I'm like, what's the right thing to do here? Man, there's a lot of choices that I could do. Let's just get some money. Let's just go with the easy thing. We're going to spend 5 of our wood. We're going to do expedition. 5 of our wood gives me $4, up to 4. So that was expedition done. So now we have 1 more action. I could just activate 2 buildings. So I could do cultivation. Cultivation would let me activate 1 building. I can get food by converting my flax, so that's an option too. maybe instead I do excavate. I'm at 2 food now, so I could convert 3 of my flax. I like that. Let's do expansion. Expansion will be our 4th action. Excavate, we'll excavate here because we have to. And we get a mining cave. Mining cave costs $1. And if I activate it, I get 5 ore. And it has no wall requirements. So I can put it wherever I want. That's pretty sick. I can't block this space, so I can't build here, but I do have rooms to build over there. Huh. Okay, first and foremost, I get to build, so I'm going to convert 3 of my flax. I go 5 down to 2, and instead I go up from food 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 3, 4, 5. So I'm at 5 food. And now I get to build for 5 food. 5 down to 0. What will I build? Well, I would build the mining cave, but I don't have the wood to do it. That sucks. I would build the cave silo, but I'm 1 short of iron ore. That sucks. So I don't have stone. Ruh-roh, can I build? I have 4 gold. Oh my, I don't think I can build. So is it worth doing that? Do I instead take like drift mining? So I keep my food and don't build, so I'm at 5, but instead of taking expansion, I could take drift mining, which lets me activate a building or a room. As long as I use an excavation capability of some variety or another, I can still salvage this. It's still fine. I like drift mining. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that instead. So we've activated drift mining. Now let's just activate a building. So I kind of want to do shelf, but that's only 1 of these items up to 2. I think that is the thing to do, though. We'll bring our wood back up so we can build some buildings. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, let's reset. And now we have 1 ore. Resetting actions here. All right, so now we go to here. 1 ore per donkey. I have 3 donkeys. So I go 1, 2, 3, up to 4 ore. Okay, now we flip over and it says spend either 5 food or 1 gold and build a new room. Well, I want to build a new room anyway. Maybe that's one of the first things I do. However, maybe it makes sense to go to the arms trader again before I do that to get some ore. Because if I do that, I can produce 4 iron when I go to decoration. Let's do that. Action 1, arms trader, $3. So I take 4 down to 1. Excuse me, donkey. Okay, and I get 4 more weapons. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're at 9 weapons. We get another donkey. Okay, and then we get 3 more ore, looks like. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. We're at 7 ore. Now we take decoration, and I spend, but before I do that, I'm going to convert 7 ore into 4 iron. 7 down to 0, 1 up to 5. Cool. All right, now I will spend 1 gold, which is all I have left, down to 0. I could instead spend the 5 food. I think I should. I will spend 5 food down to 0, and I will build 1 time. I'm going to build the cave silo for 2, so I take 5 down to 2 iron. Cave silo can be placed anywhere, doesn't have a placement requirement at all. So I'll place it here. Yeah, interesting. Hold on. Check on something here. One moment. When I went to go fix something, I moved a window around and I need that window back. So I'm waiting for something. Ah, there it is. Great. Okay. Solved. All right. So I built my cave silo. That's great. And I converted all my stuff. Cool. Now I think I want to activate some buildings. I feel like I should take expedition, activate 3 rooms. Yeah, I'm gonna take expedition, 3 rooms. So, what order do I want to do this in? Wait. No, not yet. I think instead we take cultivation. Yeah, cultivation. Let's just activate 1 room, but we get 2 grain first and 1 flax. Now I get to activate a building, a room. So I'm going to activate shelf, which gives me, no, not shelf. No, I'm going to activate cave silo. Perfect. 4. So I go from 2 to 6 grain. Okay, great. Now I will take exposition and I will activate 3 buildings. I'm going to take flax. I'm going to spend 2 to come down to from 3 to 1, and I get 2 food and 2 gold. And then that's 1 room. So I'm going to actually use these markers that come with the game to help you remember what you used during this 1 action. So I marked that as my first room. And now I'm going to spend my second one on grindstone. And it's going to be 4 of my grain. So I'm at 6 now, 6 down to 2, and 7 food. I'm at 2 food up to 9 food. All right. I have $3, so I could activate the treasury. But I don't need the extra food, but it would give me an extra gold. Is that worth it? I don't think so. I could get food back, though. That wouldn't suck. Yeah. Let's just do that. Let's activate cave silo from my 3rd action. 6. Okay. So those are my 3 rooms. Cool. And is that it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's it. Resetting tiles. In between rounds, I get 1 ore per donkey. I now have 4 donkeys, so I get 4 ore, 0 up to 4. Next tile. The second to the last round of the game, you get interior design. Build a wall for free and excavate for free. Any number of iron to any number of weapons. I'm already maxed out at 9 weapons. However, I could flip it over if I get more. So I don't have any other buildings to spend iron on. But I have 3 iron, and if I take interior design, I could convert. I have 4 ore right now, so I have $3. I could take arms trade. I could get 4 weapons. Again, as a reminder, weapons are a point apiece. So I could get 4 more weapons, another donkey, And then for my special, I could take 3 more ore. Then I take decoration. But I wouldn't have I do have the food. And then decoration, I could build, if assuming I have room for it. And then build a wall. Also not bad. Because then I get $2 for that too. But then more importantly, I get to then convert the ore that I just made into weapons again. And that's all victory point all day. I like it. I like it. Okay. This is cool. I think we just max out on weapons to the most of our ability here. Dumb question. When you build the wall for free, do you get 2 gold? I do.
What did he say?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, in fact. That is right. Right. Okay. So let's just run down the line here, right? I have $3, down to 0, 4 weapons. I'm at 9, so I go to 3 plus 10, 13. And I get 1 more donkey, up to 5. Wait. Yeah, I was at 3. Okay. I should just turn that sideways, make it easier to not get lost. Okay. And because I took arms trade, I'm going to get 3 more ore, so that's up to 7. I could get another donkey, but it's this late in the game. I'm just gonna go with it. And now I'm gonna take decoration. I have 9 food down to 4 or 5 rather. No, down to 4 because it's 5 food. And I do that. I can build a tile. We'll look to see what I can build in a moment. But before I do, I'm gonna do some ore conversion. I have 7 ore down to 0 is 4 ore. So I'm at 3 up to 7 iron bar. Cool. Now, what am I going to build? Well, in fact, I think I'm just going to, I will. What am I doing? I'm going here so you can see that a little clearer. Turn that off. All right. All right, so I have 2 wood, 1 for each of you. Mining cave seems like a good idea. It's 5 victory points. I don't have any money. I'm going for weapons generation here. So my ore to iron to weapons conversion engine would be benefited by extra ore. Ore doesn't flip over, so I can only have a max of 9. I have to be careful of that. But it would mean I have to spend less effort. I don't always have to go to the arms trader. Arms trader is helpful because it makes me the weapons, so that's good. But I like this, and it's 1 wood. It's easy to build, and I can build it anywhere. So I'm gonna spend a wood, and I'm gonna build it here. Can't see this, so I'll turn it off. Here. Great, 5 more victory points for me. Okay, and then, so I did that, I did this, and there's 2 more actions left. So I will then do interior design. Will I? Is there anything else I need to do right now? It says build a wall, but you don't get any more wall pieces in solo. So I guess I just skip that. Huh. Weird. It says don't add the era to walls. But the first game, in era 1, it said 7 walls. And I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 walls. So that means there should be 2 walls remaining from era 1. It didn't say to remove any walls. It just said don't add any more. So, yeah, don't add any walls. Okay, great. Wonderful. So I have 2 walls at my disposal. I like the idea of getting the gold. There's another way to do it, though. I would like to excavate, yes, but I would like to activate a room, I think, even more. 1 wall next to cave silo, you're down to 1. Yes, I know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. I have 5 walls out, not 6. Can zoom in if need to. Very good. Okay, so rather than excavating, I feel like I should activate a room using masonry. Because then I would get a wall, which would give me $2, and then I could activate something like, I don't know, secret chamber, which would give me 3, which would then set me up for arms trader again next round. This is the last round, so I only get to do this 1 more time. I think I like that because I don't have anything else to make me money real fast. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, okay. So I'm 1 action, 2 action. 3rd action is masonry. Activate a building. I don't have any stone, and there are some buildings that require stone. So, which ones are higher victory point? The store is pretty good. 5 victory points. Gold vein is 9 victory points, but it requires 5 gold in order to build it. So it's really a net 4, unless you're able to get that money back quickly, which I won't be able to do. I like it. We're just going to do secret chamber. Let's keep it easy. Secret chamber gives me 1 gold, and I get to have a stone or a wood. There are some that require 2 wood. I'll go 1 stone just to keep it even. Okay. And then we get to build a wall. Any wall, doesn't matter where. So I think I'm kind of like, maybe I just build it here and just extend my wall, because that doesn't matter where I build it. And none of the buildings that I have like really strict building requirements. That feels like it's a waste, but I'm really just doing it for the money. So I'm just going to go up to 2. That's how I'm going to do it. I could have used that wall to better effect, but I don't want it in my way either right now. So that's that. So that's masonry done. I now have $3. I have 1 action remaining. Maybe I do take it so that I can do this arms conversion, and then I could build another wall right now and get $2 more, and I get to excavate. Yeah, why not? That's my last action, right? I haven't done anything else. No, I haven't. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 4. This lets me use this bonus action. So excavate first. Let's get a corner. Corners aren't a bad thing to have. We got ironsmith. Ironsmith is 3 stone. Don't have 3 stone. Hard to get 3 stone. But I get to convert 2 iron into a weapon and 3 gold. Wow. Wow, that's pretty good. And it's 7 victory points on its own. Wonder if we can get that built next round. Tough call. 7 victory points would be nice. And all we need to do is somehow get 2 more stone. Stone's actually not that easy to come by for me. I have to burn actions to do it. I really don't want to. Maybe it's not worth it. Okay, anyway. Any number of times convert iron into weapons.
What did he say?
Shelf. Yeah, shelf only lets you get up, replenish up to 2. It doesn't add 2. And since I'm already at 1, I'd only gain 1 more. So in 1 action, I couldn't do it. I'd have to do it in 2. Because you can't reactivate the same build. I guess I could do a cave entrance. Cave entrance is +1. So I could do shelf for 1, cave entrance for 2, which would give me 3 stone. And if there's one that lets me do a build in there, I don't think there is. No, because it's either this one. Everything is like, I mean, I have food. I could just build it from there. Yeah, I mean, I could do it. I could. I'm going to build my last wall, though, because I did that excavation, but I didn't do the wall. So I'm going to build my last wall, and I'm going to do it where... You know what? I'm also just not going to get in my own way. I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm going to go there. And that way it's just not in the way. And I get $2, 3 to 5. Cool. And I get to convert any number of iron into any number of weapons. I don't see a reason not to just empty my iron into weapons right now. If I do that, I don't even know how I would count them. Because I'm at 13 now and it doesn't flip again. So, so I would only be able to go, let's just go 6. Let's go 7 down to 1. And now I'm at 19 weapons. And now maybe I can build a building worth more? Interesting. All right, that is the end of my second to last turn. So the last turn is coming up. Reset my actions. And in between, I have 5 donkeys. I have 5 ore. Boom. Last action is this guy here. The only player that can take this action is the one that has more weapons than your opponent, but you know, that's me. Weekly market, 1 + 1. Interesting. Weekly market says A16. What does A16 do? Room tiles, action tiles. Carry out any or all of these effects in any order. Activate up to 2 different orange rooms in your cave. Even though you can activate 2, this effect is considered to be a 1 effect. Oh. So you can interact with it. Oh, that's neat. I didn't flip over a tile when I excavated this right here. I should have. So let's find out what that is. Good thing I did. It is a 1 ore, or 1 iron rather. I'll do that and this so you can see. It is this one right here. It is 1 iron, 5 victory points. I happen to have 1 iron left. And I can excavate for 1 ore and 1 food. Oh, every time I excavate, I get 1 ore and 1 food. Huh. It's 5 points. It's easy to build. Maybe I build twice this round. See if I can't get the stone I need for that and do this. Yes, you flipped over the tile. It was the ironsmith. It was? Oh, all right. Oh, no. Yeah, I flipped over that. The solo rules say if you excavate one tile, only one tile, then you also draw another tile from the stack because it's simulating the second player adding tiles. So I should have drawn an additional tile because I only excavated one tile. That's the one little wrinkle in the solo rules. And that I did not do. So, yeah. But I think I could probably get both of those built. What else could I build? This is worth 8 victory points. This is worth 12 if I get them both built. This is worth 9, but it requires 5 gold, which I happen to have. So maybe I build the gold vein? It's 5 gold. So it's a net 4 gold, or 4 victory points. Maybe not. Why do that? Why spend my gold when I don't need to? Maybe I just try to go for these 12 straight victory points. That makes more sense to me. Getting these 3 stones is actually going to be tricky. I'm going to have to figure that out. But let's look. Let's look. Okay. So I have 1 stone. I could go here and get a stone, which would let me excavate and get a stone. I could instead go expedition for 1 action and do shelf for 1 plus 1 cave entrance. So that's 2 actions. That would give me 2 stone. And then I would be able to maybe do a mining cave or something else. I do have gold. So what else would I want to do? I could just go down to treasury for my 3rd building, which would let me spend 3 gold to make 4 gold and a food. Seems like the thing to do because it's an extra point. Yeah. I think expedition is our first action. I think. Is there anything else worth doing? Yeah. I think let's just do that. Expedition is our first action. We're going to just take it for its 3 buildings. Cave entrance, shelf for 1 replenishes stone up to 2. So I take it from 1 to 2. Cave entrance plus 1 stone. That's 2 buildings. 3rd building. There's no reason to get ore if I don't need iron, and I don't need iron because I'm already maxed out on tools. So I should focus on gold. We're going to spend 3 gold to make 4. So we're going to go from 5 to 6 net gold, and I gain a food. Okay, that was 3 buildings. So that's action 1 done. And now I have 3 stone. I have 3 stone and 1 iron, exactly what I need to build 2 buildings. I have 3 actions left to build 2 buildings. And what do I want to do here? There's no sense in doing any of this anymore because that's to generate tools, which I've already done. So building 2 buildings isn't too difficult. I have 5 food, so I think I could. Is iron worth anything at the end of the game? I don't think. Oh, iron is worth half a point. Oh, sweet. If that's the case, then wait. I didn't use the treasury. I'll go down to $5 and I'll go down to 4 food. And my my building, instead of using the treasury, I'll use the mining cave and get max ore. So I'm 9 ore. Now, when I go to the decoration here, but I need the food. That's tricky. I can convert the flax. I'll convert the flax. Flax down from 1 down to 0 goes up to 5. Now I will spend the 5 food down to 0 on decoration, and I will build my first building. I'm going to build the equipment cabinet. I'll go ahead and put the equipment cabinet, doesn't matter where. I'll put it over here. Equipment cabinet will be by the front door here. So that's 1 iron. And that is now built. Nice. Okay. Now, because I went here, I get to convert ore into iron. So I have 9 ore. I'm going to convert 7 of it down to 4. So 7, 9 down to 2, and 1 up to 4. Very cool. All right. 1, 2. Is that all I did? It was 2 actions? That can't be. No, I just did. No, that was what I did. Yeah, that's true. I just did 3 actions in the building, didn't I? Huh. Efficient.
What did he say?
1 plus 4 equals 5. What? 5 what? 5. Oh, I was at 1? Oh, thanks. Got it. Okay. What am I doing? Building a building. That's what I'm doing. I have 2 actions left already. I can't believe it. That's great. 2 gold to build a building or 5 food. So where else do I want to build a building? I don't have the food, so I could just make food. That's easy enough. So what if is there one that lets me build and, no, there isn't, is there? Jerks. Man, if weekly market had come out, but I guess it's always going to be at the 4. That'd be nice. Oh, well, it's at the end. I could, now that I don't care about generating ore, I could convert 3 of my haulers into food. And then it would give me 2 buildings I can activate too. Oh. And then I can turn around and build again my last time. But is there worth? Yeah, I guess I could. If I activate 2 buildings, I could go secret chamber for 3 flax, and then weaving room for 2 gold. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah. So we're going to do weekly market for our 3rd action. Am I? Wait a minute. Yeah, because that's food, and I need food to build. Okay, yeah. Weekly market for the 3rd action. So the first thing we're going to do is activate our buildings. So 0 to 3 flax, and then 2 flax down to 1 to get 2 food and 2 gold. Great. And now the second action is to trade 3 of my donkeys, 5 down to 2, into 6 food. So 2 up to 8 food. Okay, so weekly market is done. My last action.
What did he say?
Well, part of why is, I mean, I could do that. Well, if I do that, I mean, either way, I guess it's 7 food versus, yeah. So if I do that instead, and that wasn't, I see what you're saying. And this would go down to, what was it? 6. So it would be 2 down to 2. And instead I did this down to 2, would bring me up to 9 food by using grindstone. Yeah, fair point. I don't think I need the extra food, but hey, why not? I'll take it. More food equals better. So now we build. Now, which build do we want to do? We can build using expansion. We can build using housework. Now, that is interesting. I don't have the place to put it because I can't build here. So I would need to excavate and build. But I want to build twice, and the only way I can build twice is using housework. So I think I'm only going to be able to build once. There's really no other way around it. I think that's really these are the only 2 other build options I've got. So we'll do expansion. And we will mine this one. Hey, we got a free food. That's funny. It is a breeding cave, but we can technically build twice now. Breeding cave requires 2 grain, which I happen to have. It's worth 6 victory points at the end of the game. But it has a wall requirement that I can't satisfy, which is unfortunate. So we'll go back to continue building our ironsmith. So we've excavated, but we get to draw an extra tile. Yep. And just thought of it. There's that. Is it viewable? That is the question. It is. Cool. With this guy here, I still can't build that one, even if I wanted to, because of the wall requirements. But that's all right. It's a converter into, it's 10 victory points, which would be the reason to do it. But it's a weapons converter, which I don't need because I'm maxed out. Okay, so, well, let's take I'll come back here for a second. Take a hard look here. I can build this, but that's only worth 4 victory points. No real value in doing that because it says 9, but it's 4 when you consider I can't get any more gold. I don't have the wood to build this. I do have what I need to build this. It's worth 6. I don't have the wall configuration for it. This is worth 5 because I spent a gold to do it. Of all of them, I really think it's still ironsmith for 7. So I think we're just going to go there. I just want to make sure. Yeah. So we're going to go there. We're going to go ironsmith. Right. Okay, so we're going to build for 5 food. So 9 down to 4. We're going to build ironsmith, and we're going to build it up here. For 3 stone down to 0. 7 victory points. End of game. I think. End of game? Yeah, end of game. Because that was expansion. That was my last action. Okay. End of game. Now, how do we score? I think it's pretty self-explanatory, actually. I will come here.
What did he say?
Can you build there? Yeah, wall configuration. That is a corner, and this is a corner. Yep. That's what I was planning on. Okay. We're going to come here and here. And we're going to not worry about these for the moment. Hold on. Because these are just things we could have built but did not build. Okay. Now, what are we doing? We are looking at that. What do we get? Well, these are all buildings of various colors. So this darker one is for era 1, these lighter one is for era 2. So I'm just going to add them all up. How many 5s do we have, first of all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 20, or sorry, 4. No, that's right, 5. 25. Okay. 25, 35, 36, 36, 39, 43, plus 8 is 51. There's more than that. There's more than that. Hold on. Hold the phone. 12 plus 10 is 22, plus 7 is 29, plus 2 5s is 39, 50, 68. 68. That's much better. Nope. Yep. No, it doesn't matter. You can actually rotate those any way you want to demonstrate compliance with the rule. So this is not a strict placement. This can be, if I was building it over here, this would also be legal. It doesn't really matter. As long as it's only 2 walls out of the, what is that, 4? Yeah, and it's on the corner. Yes, correct. 68, 51. Okay, 50, correct, yeah. Okay, so then weapons, we have 19. Iron, we have 5, so it is half point each. 2.5. I don't know if 0.5 is going to matter, but I'll do it anyway. And then gold is half a point each, 7. So that's 3.5. Yeah, 3.5. It will matter. Okay. Mathing is hard. 87. Is that all that is? 87 plus 6 is 93. Is that right? I think I got that right. I just did that in my head, so if I'm not right, let me know. Pretty sure that's right. 14146. I did not make 180 points. I can say that. So is that really what it says? That's insane. 180 points is really tough, especially when you're maxed out at 9 weapons. Like, I guess it's really expecting me to go extra hard on the gold, maybe. But even if I did, I'd be at what, 19 gold, right? So it's only 12 extra points, so that would be at 158 points. Where else are you making your money? Iron, I guess. Wow. I mean, you'd have to really go hard. How do you even do it? Buildings. I guess you can continue to build buildings. Whew. But I can't even start excavating that. All I did, I went hard into weapons. And I guess maybe because my last round, I really couldn't make more weapons. I could have, instead of focusing so hard on the weapons engine, I could have spent time building buildings. And if I had done that, then excavating, building, then maybe I would have earned more points. Huh. That's interesting. I wouldn't say my math skills are better. It's just I would say it's just adding up numbers, but math skills are not just adding. So anyway, that I can see why people really like it. I can really understand why people like this game. I did well enough, 146 on my first play ever of Caverna, that I'm like, how much room do I have to really refine my play. But again, everything depends on what tiles come out. Like here's the draw pile for the remaining draw pile for Era 2. There's 5 tiles left in it. I probably didn't draw tiles when I should have a few times, but still. And that was probably true in Era 1 too. And Era 1 had this many tiles left. I think it was 6 tiles left. And I'm sure I didn't draw when I should have then, at least once. Still, I feel like, and then of course the order with which these come out, the action tiles come out in every section, section 2, section 3, section 4. I feel like there's definitely going to be enough variability there where you got to shuck and jive. But again, the action tiles are the same every time. It's just a matter of what order they come out. The combination of them with these bonus spaces, that certainly makes things interesting. And the extra tiles you see in Era 2, and all the other resource types that you gain in Era 2 certainly make for a very compelling puzzle. I am a little worried of how much replayability I'm going to see out of it. But even if, let's say I play the game 20 times and I get bored of it, that's a pretty good investment. I'm happy with that. I honestly, if you're looking for Caverna with a hell of a lot less setup time, if you want that feeling of Caverna without having to play this table hog 45-minute setup time game that is Caverna, and not wanting to shell out the $100 to buy Caverna, Cave versus Cave. If you don't mind playing it solo or 2-player, Cave versus Cave. I mean, that's great, and it's half of my little tiny table here, so it was no trouble at all to find the room to play it. And it takes up very little shelf space compared to Caverna. I've owned Caverna in the past. I can say that authoritatively. It's a nice, tiny box. So pick it up. Cave versus Cave. Been out for a little while. This was put out in 2022. You should still be able to find it. I found it in a FLGS, about 2 years ago. It's been sitting in my shelf in the shrink for far too long. I was looking for something short and easy and small to play today. I would say it's a nice mid to mid plus weight. Probably, 2.6, I would probably put that. 2.7 maybe with Era 2. So it's got some heft, it's got some crunch, but it's not so heavy that it's like, why is this game so heavy for such a small footprint? That's not a bad thing either, but it doesn't feel like it's like overly heavy. It's still supposed to be a lighter weight game. And I do think it manages to achieve that despite the crunch that it's got, because it's nothing too heavy. You're just doing some light goods conversion and some kind of tableau management stuff. That's it, which is exactly what I wanted today. So honestly, I think that was a win. I'm very happy with this choice today. I think this was a nice, easy thing to do. Okay, so next week, I kind of took a pause this week and did something a little older, despite the fact that I've got something brand new and shiny that came through the door that's showing up that is debuting at Gen Con this last weekend. So I probably should have streamed that this week. I just didn't feel like it. I also have something a little lighter that came in that's also something that was going to be at Gen Con. So maybe I just film those in the next 2 weeks, get them knocked out, get them out of the way. I think I'm going to be interested in playing them. I just was feeling something a little even lighter than that, and didn't want to feel the pressure of getting something brand new to the table. And plus, I'd had a couple brand new things just recently come to the table that I thought I would take a break, play something a little a little something more familiar. Hey, since I'm sitting here though, I'll take a look at. I'm gonna talk about something different. What will I do? Let's just nuke the player board for a second. I want to show something. So we'll do that. These are pretty cool. What did I do with this? Yeah, we'll go this way. So these I have are we'll go here. Yeah, these are Diceomatics. These showed up just recently. These are Kickstarter, little bonus look. little bonus look. I have a few of these. These are Diceomatics. They're little dice spinners. Look at that. Cool. Little texture, right? You can reconfigure them. They're little Phillips head screws. So I went ahead and put 2 D10s in this one. And you just push the button, let them spin. And so that's an 81 as a percentile roll, right? Ooh, of course, there we go. 42, 99, that's pretty good, right? So that's a Diceomatic. I have another one here. I put 2 D6s in this one. And this one's really cool. I really like the art on that one a lot. 2 knights. D6s. Ooh. Yikes. 3, 4, right? These are cool. I like them a lot. They're really handy. They're really rugged. They're all metal construction. They fit in your pocket. It's like the size of a business card, basically. They're really cool. Are they like perfect? No. You saw one time that the die face kind of stopped in the middle of 2 faces. That'll happen like 20% of the time. It's not great. So they've got their flaws, but I really like them, especially if you're traveling a lot. I feel like it'd be really good to do like roll and writes on an airplane. That sort of thing. You don't have to bring dice with you, but you can still actually get a good roll out of it. So Diceomatics, they're really cool. I don't know when they're going to start selling them retail. I hope soon, because they are fulfilling. They just showed up the other day. So that's a little bonus look at Diceomatics. I got, they were still doing a pack of 5 of them on their Kickstarter. So I did that just because I liked some of the art and I wanted the ability to do, I have like a D8 face and a D4 in there too. I've got a D12 and a D20. So I've got a whole set. If I was going to do RPG or something like that, I could just bring those and not have to roll a bunch of dice. So you might see those in future streams if I do some more roll and write, for example, and just pull those out rather than worrying about dice going everywhere or rolling on a dice tower or something like that. So I think they're cool. I don't know what they're going to be retailing for. If the price is decent, definitely pick them up. I think they're user serviceable. So like repairing them, replacing components, all of that's going to be definitely doable in a Diceomatic. So they should last you for a good long time. At least be repairable and swappable and all of that. And they're all metal construction, so check them out. I'm not I have no affiliation other than I backed them and I think they're cool looking. So yeah, that's it for me. We're going to see a couple new things, I think, the next couple weeks, just to get caught up a little bit. And then after that, we'll see. We might do a little odds and ends. We might do a goat. Maybe. We might do a goat game. It's been a minute. One I've been trying to get filmed for a while, but mentally been putting it off because of its heft. But that's going to be a few weeks from now. So we'll see. We'll play a couple mid-lightweight games the next couple weeks. It's summertime after all. And yeah, that sounds good. Find me online. You know where to find me. YouTube, if you're catching this, you can always catch all of my VODs on YouTube afterward. And otherwise, that's it from me. We'll see you again at the next Sunday. Yeah, we'll see you next Sunday. And if you don't mind hanging out, we'll get that raid going before we go, because thank you all for sticking around. So let's go raid somebody, shall we? All right. See you guys next week.